In this video, I will show you exactly how to register a name and logo trademark in the UK. I can show you this because I'm a qualified solicitor and I've done this hundreds of times for my own clients. Make sure to stay until the end of the video to find out how to use a group structure of entities to protect your registered trademark once you receive it. If you're new, I'm Zoppi, an English qualified solicitor, and I help UK SMEs with their corporate and commercial legal needs. Now, very important to note is that in this video, I'm going to assume that you've already watched my other video that includes very important pre-application steps that should be taken to minimize your chances of, number one, your trademark application being rejected by the IPO, the Intellectual Property Office, and number two, if it's not rejected, then minimize the risks of a third party opposing your application once it is published. Now, don't worry if all of this sounds a bit confusing. I'm going to link in the description below the previous video that you should watch before we get started. And in this video, I'm going to discuss the other matters that you might have questions about. Let's jump straight into it. You should be able to see my screen right here. This is the official page where we will submit a trademark application. This is the link, which I'll also include in the description below. And the first thing we need to do is click on Apply Online. Then we're going to do this from the very beginning. So I'm going to assume that there are no previous trademarks that we already own. So we're going to add a new name and address. And here you will include your company's details as the owner of the trademark. Before moving to the next stage, make sure to spend a little bit of time looking at this information. But in brief, it's about data protection, the fact that some details will be public on the intellectual property register where it can be accessed online and anyone can see those details. And of course, the person who is looking to apply for a trademark, in this case, the limited company or your business, must be entitled to hold property, which typically is the case if you are a limited company. Great, so once we have the owner details, we can click on Continue. And here we decide which kind of trademark we're applying for. So as this video focuses on the logo and name trademark, we're going to assume that your logo contains the name of your business, and therefore we're going to be applying for this kind of mark right here. In other words, it includes both a name and the logo in a stylistic way. Then we actually have to upload our logo. So we need to click on Choose File, and you want to upload a JPEG version ideally. So I'm going to upload one of these, then click on Upload. Now the software itself is going to analyze the logo that you uploaded and it's going to pick out the words that are included in the image that you uploaded. If they're correct, you can click on yes. If not, you might either have to upload a clearer picture with higher quality or more, for example, contrast. Or if not, you might have to contact the IPO and discuss what issue you're facing. And here we have a disclaimer. Okay, great, so we're ready to continue. Then here, I'm going to click on series of trademarks. And the reason being is that I have a logo of my business name that is going to be shown in different colors. So for example, I have one with a white background and green writing. And then I have one with white writing and a green background. So I'm going to click series of trademarks. Okay, it's going to give me an idea of the kinds of marks that are acceptable, the kinds that are not. Then it tells me that there is an additional fee of £50 that needs to be paid. I'm fine with that. I'm going to add another variation of the same mark. It is a very similar one, so I go this way. I choose my file. I attach the one with the green background. Same as before. We have the two variations here. Click on Continue. Here it tells me what my costs are going to be. Now we're going to have to apply for specific classes under which our trademark is going to be registered and protected. Classes are like, for example, types of businesses or industries. For example, I'm going to be registering my trademark for especially legal services. You might be an e-commerce website selling t-shirts, so you might be focusing on t-shirts and clothing. For ease, I'm going to select from a pre-approved list. I'm going to type legal. And here I'm going to start selecting the options which are applicable to my case. Then I can also use different kinds of keywords when looking to find more classes or more subclasses to protect our mark against. So I started out with legal, now I'm saying law firm. I'm going to try also with lawyer. And then I'm also going to add a few other services that aren't directly related to the law firm that I'm currently running, The reason being is that I intend on delivering these services in the future, so I have plans in place to do this, genuine plans, and therefore I want to protect my mark now. Something to keep in mind is that you shouldn't select an extremely large list of services and products or classes because it might be seen as bad faith. So if you're applying for too many things and you don't have a genuine intention to actually do and offer these services or sell these products, then it might be possible that your application is either going to be rejected or someone could apply to have it withdrawn because of bad faith. Please keep in mind that in this video, we're not discussing or focusing on the legal aspects of registering a trademark. I'm simply showing you the procedure that you might want to follow when looking to register your trademark. Great, so now it's just showing us a list of the things that we selected. Just to confirm, it's telling us that there's an additional fee on top that needs to be paid. That is because we have different classes. So with £170, you get to apply for one main class, for example, legal services. Now, because I want to apply in different classes on top of legal services, for example, accounting and tax advice, then I'm going to have to pay an additional £50 per additional class that I want to register or protect my trademark against. So we're doing a straightforward logo and trademark name. So therefore, many of these things won't apply. So I'm not going to add a description or limitation. I'm not going to add a disclaimer. I have no specific priority. Again, I don't have a priority registration date. It is a standard trademark. These other ones would require a separate video. And I'm deciding to pay the whole fee right now because it ends up saving me £30, and I'm quite confident that my application is going to be accepted because, again, I've done that due diligence before applying for this trademark as per my video, which is also linked below. Again, here we're just confirming the details. I'm going to pay by credit card. Amazing. So if you got to this place where it says application submitted and you have a trademark number, then congrats, you have successfully applied for a trademark. But what happens next? Well, first, the IPO, the Intellectual Property Office, is going to review your application and decide whether it complies with their requirements. If it does comply with the requirements, then your application is going to be published on the IPO journal, and that is where anyone for a period of 2 months can oppose your application if they wish to do so. And once your application has gone through the opposition period and it hasn't been opposed or it won against the opposition, then you're going to receive a registered trademark. But how do you protect your registered trademark once you have it? Well, important to keep in mind is that your trading company carries the most risk, and you might want to avoid placing the ownership of your registered trademark, the brand, which is extremely valuable, in the company that carries the most risk. Instead, you might want to own it or transfer it to a separate limited company. And to learn how to do so, watch this video right here.